Hi everyone, Murphy is here simply because he matches my YouTube channel panel and he matches the navy blue sheet. So I was like, it would be so like, cause yeah, yes, I am all about aesthetics. I love colors. Yeah. So I was like, it would be so like pretty if like he's in the video and like the thumbnail is me holding him simply because he matches my panel. I'm an artist. What can I say? um, Maybe not like a extreme like great one, but I like eye catching color. This it's I guess it's mainly for me. Also the viewers too. Like I feel like you guys would guys. Let's just jump in because I have a tendency of yapping and like going interweaving irrelevant things in the conversation. Okay, to just get into it, this video is about embracing being ugly. Now, you guys, I did choose, like, I did think of, okay, what am I gonna wear for this video and how am I gonna do my hair? I definitely thought that. So, this video itself, it's so hypocritical to the person I am because, guys, if I'm being honest, I care so much about beauty, like, to the point where it's like, it's robbing me of just enjoying life. And that's exactly the reason why I'm doing this topic. This topic, it kind of even, certain things I'm going to share, and it's embarrassing, it's cringe for me to listen to because I do care a lot about beauty. A lot about beauty. And I know there's a lot of women, not just women, but people out there that care a lot about beauty. Because we were taught to care so much about it. Of course, I put like woman in the title because I feel like this affects women more than men, which we will definitely get into in this conversation. But guys, I've struggled for why do I don't know why I get so emotional like it's I don't know. I'm maybe I'm a little sensitive, which is fine. But I struggled with beauty for the vast majority of my life. I would say from the end of elementary school to onward, I've always been obsessed, not struggled, obsessed with wanting to be beautiful, obsessed with wanting attention from men, for my looks, obsessed, like something that's never ending, and of course, everything I watch had to do with beauty. It had to be related to. It's something I obsessed over, literally. I would say this is really because, well, of a certain incident that happened to me when I was younger that kind of shift like the whole dynamic of my mind. And of course, gradually, the way I thought about beauty when I was younger is completely different than how I think about it now. I would say my tendencies are still there, but I'm starting to become more comfortable with being ugly sometimes. And when I say ugly, in this video, ugly is not a derogatory term whatsoever. I could just replace ugly with like just being authentically myself, but I'm not calling myself ugly. I'm just using ugly as a word to describe not like intentionally obsessing over beauty and thinking about like looking the best first thing in the morning. Like it's okay to be ugly, you know? I'm using ugly in an exaggerated sense because no, I'm not calling you guys ugly. I'm not calling myself ugly. I'm just saying like, you know, it is more attention grabbing to say ugly because when you hear ugly, like you see how I had to explain myself to say ugly was a derogatory term. That self shows that the word ugly, especially used for a woman, has such unnecessarily like weight, unnecessarily hold, you know? If you're poor, okay, you're poor, but you're ugly? She's ugly? Wow, that's such a deep term, you know? It hurts women to the core to be called ugly. Whereas, like, when I had a conversation with my boyfriend, when it comes to men, well, at least from his experience, he told me if someone called him ugly, you know, it's something like to shrug off the shoulder, like, okay, like, I mean, what am I gonna do about it? Like, it's whatever. But with women, it deeply affects their soul. Like, it's like targeting their beingness. Ugly? You call me ugly? How dare you? Like, it's something that's like shameful, you know? It's so weird. But guys, I definitely wanted to talk about this because this is something deep in my heart. Always like I've always struggled with like wanting to be beautiful, wanting to be seen, you know. It's something like I said, I know I'm being redundant, but I obsessed over, you know. I couldn't think about anything else but to be beautiful. It was so sad and pathetic. But guys, I'm not saying these things to bash my experience, you know. Because I do forgive myself for the way I acted. I forgive myself for being so obsessive. And you should forgive yourself too if what I'm saying resonates with you and you find some similarities between my experience and you. Don't bash yourself, you know. It's good to acknowledge it and acknowledge the intensity of it, you know. Don't just graze over and say, you know, had a little issue. No, actually express the intensity of it, but without shame, without resistance, you know. Forgive yourself, because I forgive myself for all the times I wasted just obsessing about beauty, you know. I forgive myself, and because I forgive myself, it's easy to move on to other things and to, you know, grow with myself, you know, and use my other time for more productive things. And this is what I'm going to share with you guys, you know, why it's okay to be ugly, and why this obsession with beauty, you know, it's not something you were born with. It's something that you were taught, you were shown repeatedly, and this is why you obsessed over it so much. So I'm going to first talk about the conditioning of wanting to be beautiful since you were a child. So beauty itself, right? Like, the humans, we biologically like beautiful things, you know. Of course, this is a reason why I have Murphy, you know. I saw him on Temu. I was like, he's beautiful, he's cute, I need him, right? So wanting to be beautiful, seeking beautiful things, not only that, but wanting to be beautiful, you know, it's not a bad desire, you know. Actually, nothing is good or bad, you know, but it's not a weird desire, you know. It's, you know, everyone at some time thought to themselves, okay, what can I do to make myself look a little more desirable, you know? That itself is not a bad thing to think. Of course, the obsession of it is why it's bad. Now, of course, when it comes to men, being attractive, you know, is desirable, right? Like, if there's like a famous male actor and he happens to be attractive, of course he will get more views, more likes. But with women, it's pretty evident that it's more stressed upon a female actor, a female rapper, female doctor or lawyer to be attractive. And, well, for starters, I've never watched an entirety of like a Megan Fox movie. Not on purpose. I have no ill feelings towards Megan Fox or like the movie she's in. But there's a clip I remember where, I don't know what the name of the movie is called, but it's you know, she's like plays like the attractive, quirky girl that's like really good at like car mechanics and things related to that. And she's like washing the car and like fixing it. And these guys are just watching her and like Googling over her, and it's like, wow, you know, she's this like really hot girl, but also she likes to fix cars, you know, this is so hot, blah blah blah. And, you know, I realized, of course there's other portrayals of women in media where, you know, there's doctors, that they're lawyers, you know, they're it's something other it's something other than their looks that's being highlighted, right? But I was thinking to myself, it's something about an attractive woman that's shown in the media that really catches your eye. And the reason for this is because usually when there's a character and she happens to be attractive, she's also associated with power, status, fame, praise. That's what makes the idea of being beautiful so idealized, you know. It's something that so desirable, it's because of what it's associated with. Let's think of like Regina George, Mean Girls. How, she's a mean girl, right? She's shallow, but she happens to be beautiful, and this gives her power. This, she's able to control not only her friend group, but the whole school. She's like the puppeteer, and they're their puppets, So beauty is then associated with control more than power. If you're beautiful, you could control everyone with it, manipulate everyone. This reminds me of like there's now like an upsurge of these older women teaching these like young adolescent girls basically how to manipulate men with their looks. It's like a whole like genre on YouTube where like not just older women but women in general just telling girls, okay, you have to be pretty, because if you're pretty, if you're desirable, you could manipulate men and you could get their money. These like really toxic ideas they're spewing. It's just hatred basically they're spewing, and it's so toxic. So as a society, we associate not just beauty but beautiful women with control, with power. And of course, at a young age especially, you want control. Maybe like you have a bad life, not even a bad life. You don't have to have a bad life to want control, but we see control, we see power as a great thing. So of course, if it's associated with beauty, it's desirable. Now it's something you must have. And this just shapes the whole view of women, because on the flip side, when it comes to men, they don't have to be attracted to have power. Actually, it's encouraged for men to be more intelligent, to have different niches, to seek intellect, to seek different hobbies, and that itself is powerful. That is powerful. It has nothing to do with their looks. Men can care less about their looks. Like it's if you happen to be attractive man, okay, but if you're not, you are still as valuable compared to an unattractive man. You could still be a construction worker, you could be a lawyer, a doctor. It's still open. There's jobs that you have. You could pursue it. It doesn't matter what looks. And of course, when it comes to jobs, you don't have to be an attractive woman to get a job. But it's not about, because this world we're living in, everything is an illusion. Everything is a physical. We are living in the physical realm right now. So even if that's not true, right, that being a unattractive woman makes you less powerful as a attractive woman, it's flipped when it's shown into media. And now this is what younger girls believe when they watch media. They cannot differentiate between reality and the illusions. They see the illusion in the screen. The screen is telling them that to be powerful, to be in control, to have validation, to be loved, you have to be attractive. So of course they're going to try to seek being attractive. They can't, at that age, they can't decipher what's illusion and what's reality. And this illusion isn't presented in the same way to men that it is to women, And this is why women have such a need to be attractive. Because they think they'll be in control, they'll have power, they'll have love, blah, 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 blah. Which is false. And this is what I'm debunking now. Most things on media is illusion. It's elusive. What's the word for what's the different tense of illusion? Like it's false by nature. Because it's false, we shouldn't give into it. Now, like I said, I'm being authentic. I want to be attractive, right? I have that need. That's why I'm, I changed my clothes. I made sure my hair was nice before speaking, And in that sense, I wouldn't say it's a big deal because, I don't know who's watching this. So, of course, I want to do that. That could also be me making an excuse. This video, it's not at all, anti trying to look good, anti trying to wear nice clothes, anti, fixing your hair. No. This video is just trying to highlight some of the tendencies women portray or have due to media. And what's weird about beauty in itself and, trying to be put on that character of like the beautiful girl, it's way deeper than you think. It's not just about, face level, literally. It's not, in a literal sense, it's not just about face level things. When you're performative, it's hard to do anything, it's hard to have really good interpersonal relationships, because if you're in this performative role and, you talk to people, they're not seeing you. They're seeing that character. If you don't even allow yourself to be authentic with yourself, with what you want, how do you expect to form relationships? How do you expect to love? How do you expect to be loved? It compromises everything, it compromises the fundamental structure of your beingness. You can't, it's a must. You have to be authentic with yourself first in order to receive anything good in your life, anything stable in your life. And this is one of the reasons why, in my opinion, it's so hard for female friendships to stick and to actually be true in nature compared to male friendships. And I don't know a whole lot about the male experience. One, I'm a woman. And also, for the majority of my life, I went to an all-girls charter school. And I don't have any brothers. And the male relatives I have, I don't see them frequently. The only persistent male perspectives I get to perceive is my father's and my boyfriend's. But I could tell some things based on watching like men on social media and just seeing how they interact with each other. And it really does seem that males are able to formulate like a healthier friendship with one another than girls. And like I said, I think the main reason for this is the performance. Women, like, it's embedded into women to be performative, to put on this facade. For men, of course you may see like males in media putting a facade, but it's not associated with like power and control to put on a facade when you show in media. On the flip side, with women, the woman that's, a little manipulated, a little snarky, they're not showing their true selves, they're mysterious, that's associated with power. So like, if you're authentically yourself in the media and you happen to be a girl, that's not, it's not shown in the same regard, the same desirability as a girl that's performing, and that woman often happens to be beautiful. It's really, this whole dynamic is, it's just conditioning women to be performative, to not show them their true selves, and you'll think that it's like easy to just snap out of like performance and authenticity, performance and your true self, but it's not, which makes it so hard to love, which makes it so hard to communicate with one another. And altogether, this will make you feel lonely, because if you're always showing like a facade with people, even if you get praise, even if you get attention from people, it's not going to feel like anything, because you're getting attention for a facade and not yourself. So you will always feel that utter despair, that utter loneliness, because yet again, no one is seeing who you are. They're just seeing that facade. They don't know who you are, and you don't know who you are either. So really, to have good relationships, because we really perform because we think people will like that performance. And even if they do, that's not going to make you feel better, because they like the performance, not you. You're still not getting validated. You're still not getting the love and praise that you want. So this is another reason why I think with females, it's hard to keep relationships. It's hard to keep friendships, because you can't keep something that was never established in the first place, To establish a true friendship, a true relationship, both parties have to be authentic. Because eventually, if they're not, eventually it's going to fall off, There has to be some like truthfulness, I would say we all have deceiving qualities, when I say deceiving, the first thing you'll think of is like, oh, you're deceitful, you must be manipulative. And that's not what I mean by deceitful. I mean like the, you know, even like minor things we think of could be deceitful. Like not, you know, someone asks you, oh, does my hair look good? And you say, yeah, out of pity. You know, that could be perceived as deceitful. But true relationships, in order to establish a true bond, both parties have to be mostly authentic for the most part. Because how can you love one another if you're not loving one another? You know, you're loving that facade. It's never going to work out. And you know, it may feel kind of weird to try to slowly come out your shell and show your true self if you are always in that facade, if you're always performative, you know, if you're always trying to check the mirror. Oh, do I look cute? Is he gonna like me? Like that constant wanting of approval and thus putting this act to get it. Even like I'm gonna be redundant. Even if you get praise for it, you know, you are still going to feel utterly lonely. Even maybe more lonely, even more of that despair. Because not only do you have to force yourself to act as you're not. You have to put in that facade, but also you're getting attention, you're getting praise, you know, but you're still not being recognized as who you are, you know. You're still in that character. And I would say that's one of the most lonely things to ever experience. I honestly think Instagram models, OnlyFans models, anything that has to do with modeling and like showing off like your looks is probably one of the most loneliest jobs in the world, because you have to stay in that facade. Especially because people love that facade, you know. You're a model, you look, you know, really elegant, you know. You're showing this like ideal version of yourself. Of course people are gonna love it, but they're not loving you, they're loving the act. And that's such a lonely feeling. And you know, of course I never reached model status, but in high school I remember when I grew up. I'm saying grew up in like the least intense way, because I don't, you know, but I remember I used to get, it wasn't a lot of attention, but any attention was more than I got freshman year, because freshman year I literally felt invisible. But I used to get attention, and for a split second I used to like it, because I'm like, wow, I never got compliments before. Wow, this is so, I'm not used to this. But still, I always came home and would still feel lonely, because that was a facade. Like, you know, acting as whatever image they were seeing, it wasn't me, you know. I wasn't expressing who I was. They didn't like my beingness. They just liked how I looked. And that's very lonely. And yeah, and that's essentially why, you know, you want to be authentic, not for people but for yourself. Because I'm telling you, when you actually are yourself and you realize that there's people that genuinely like you for you without the additives, it is such a beautiful thing. It is so beautiful, and it is so fulfilling to know that all this time you are putting a facade, and then show your authentic self and realize people like you. You know, you didn't have to put up that show. They like your quirks, they like your qualities. And I'm getting a little touchy-feely here. Without the feely, but I'm getting a little touchy because this, I thank God, this is actually, I feel this way all the time with my boyfriend. Like, genuine feeling. And I really think God, I don't know if you guys are religious. If you're not, you know, you don't have to be religious to watch this. I don't care about, like, you know, your, well, no, I do care about your beliefs, but anyways, yeah, I really think God put my boyfriend in my life because it was the first time where I met a person where I was myself. Like, I was myself, and he really liked me for it. And I would say my relationship with him definitely has made me more comfortable with being myself, because I never knew that someone would like me for me, genuinely. And that's what a lot of girls struggle with, you know. That's why they put up this facade, because they never felt that connection. And it doesn't have to be a romantic connection, just a connection in general where someone's saying, wow, I appreciate who you are authentically, and I love you for that. Keep doing you. Keep doing that. So guys, if you never felt that before, this is me being that for you. Guys, be yourself. Stop performing. And it is okay to not be attractive 24/7. It is okay to be ugly. Yes, I said the word. Wow, ugly. Ugly. Because guess what? Being ugly, I wrote it here. I'm looking. I wrote, there is beauty in ugly. I don't know if you can see it. There is beauty in ugly. There's beauty in ugly because, one, there's millions of people that get so scared when you hear the word ugly. So not like on that day, not caring so much about your looks, that's very not only humble of you, but it's, most people can't do that. So you're doing something most people can't do. That's one. Also, why being ugly is beautiful. Guys, I'm telling you, a person that's different, right? A person that's very quirky, not intentionally trying to be different, but just themselves, it's so beautiful because you get to see someone's differences. You get to see someone's quirks, someone's like the weird qualities that they have, you know, the things that they see as flaws, which aren't really flaws. And that's so precious because each and every one of you has certain qualities that's so distinct from one another. And when you hide it, like, then it's like you're hiding yourself. How would I like someone? Why would I like someone that's the same as everyone else? And I'm telling you, when you express yourself freely without feeling that cringe, that embarrassment, it's so freeing because then you could meet other people where you are. And the real reason, like, I don't know if I said this before, but people put a facade is because they're afraid of other people. But when you meet the other people as you meet yourself, it's easier to understand that no one is better than you. No one in this world is better than you guys. We are all the same. You don't even have to be spiritual. Like, I don't like to consider myself spiritual, but I put myself in the category so people could have an idea of what I believe in. But you don't have to be spiritual to understand that we are all from the same essence. We are literally from all the same essence. We are all interconnected with one another. And because we have different identities, we have certain facades that we have with each other, it's hard to tell that we're so alike because we have these illusions of one another that's basically telling us that we're so different. But even if we have different races, different backgrounds, different cultures, etc., we are still the same in soul and essence. We are all interconnected. And the more you meet yourself, the more you're authentic to yourself, it's so easy to understand that, you know, who I am, it's kind of the same to who you guys are. And you could only understand that if you try to be your authentic self every day. Because then the more you try to do it, the less you'll fear it. Because you're actually doing it and you're seeing that, okay, me being me, maybe some people wouldn't like it. Who cares? But it's going to be people that genuinely treasure that genuinely see how precious those qualities are, and they'll love you for it. So yes, guys, be ugly. I'm using the word loosely. Be ugly, okay? Don't care so much about the facade, and even if you don't shame yourself, because like I said, I do it too. I still go through that thinking too. Don't shame yourself. Every day, guys, try to be as authentic as you, and then the more you feel comfortable being you, the more people will start to gravitate to that. And if they don't, they're not right for you. The people that's meant for you will come to you when it's your time. And yes, that's the truth. Guys, I hope you learned from this video. It is it was only 10 minutes. Wow. Why did it feel like I was talking for hours? I think maybe I was in the flow state. Hopefully I was when I read, because that's the best state to be in when you give these videos. You know, I want these videos to be just me talking, spewing, instead of writing it down, because I want you guys to feel how it's coming from the heart, you know. But guys, yes, really don't please, guys, don't put a facade. Everyone here, you guys are beautiful. I say let's be ugly because it's like, it's cool to say let's be ugly, let's embrace our flaws, you know. But your flaws is what makes you beautiful, and that's why I say there's beauty in ugly. There's beauty in flaws. You know, you don't have to be anyone else. Just be yourself, genuinely. And I know with women, it's kind of harder to do this because we are psychologically conditioned to be performative. We are psychologically conditioned to associate being performative with having control, having power, and being loved and accepted. And guys, that is such BS. That is such BS. Being performative, you will get the opposite. Okay, even if you get love for your performance, like I said before, you will not feel the love because you're getting loved, you're being validated for that performance and not you. And what your soul craves is a deep one-to-one connection with someone that acknowledges who you are and that loves you for you. That's what your soul craves. You don't want to be performative. You're just doing it for validation. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner it'll be easier to take off that shell. Take off that shell and just be you. And test it out, you know? But yeah, guys, that's what I have to say. I really hope you understood what I said, and I hope this touched some parts of your soul. And yes, guys, be you. It's okay. It's more than okay. It's beautiful. It's precious. Who you are is precious. And love that. Love all your flaws. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Miffy is here to say bye. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. And I love you guys. So see you in the next video. Bye.